Oh, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the ninth episode of the Gate 6 podcast. Yankees just won the last two games of their four-game set against the White Sox to salvage a split. Seems like maybe their little cold slump is maybe coming to a close, but we'll see. Nate, how you doing?
Very well. Excited for our second live stream on YouTube. Yankees, a couple of nice wins in a row. Let's do it.
Indeed. All right, we're ready. You're ready. Let's do it.
Big pitch coming. 3-0 Twins. Yankees threatening. And the pitch rocked to right field. Tie game.
All right. So, as we said, the Yankees just won the last two games of their four-game set against the White Sox. Since the last time we recorded, they also had their series against the Indians and against the Mets. But before we get into all that, Nate, how are you doing?
School is over. Summer is here. Max and I are going to Israel in 5 days.
5 days.
So it's very exciting. I just saw Max over the week. He came over to my house, watched the Yankees together. It's a good time. I'm chilling. How you doing, Max?
It's true. We did see each other this week. I'm doing great. I'm still on a little bit of a high from the Encarnacion trade. That was really, it came out of nowhere. It really surprised me. I was like, all right, let's go. We're doing this. Really exciting. But yeah, like you said, we're done with school. This week we leave from Israel a week from today, but we leave for camp 5 days from now. And yeah, it's definitely exciting. We're in things are happening. It's like baseball season's underway. You no longer have the the little May part of like, oh, it's fun. I'm glad baseball's back. It's like, all right, we're in the home stretch of things. We're really playing baseball right now.
Exactly.
Yeah. So before we get started, you want to give a quick shout out to our friends over on Instagram and Ticket IQ?
Of course. Once again, if you have not heard, shout out to Yankees Universe on Instagram. Great Yankees account, news, score updates, whatever you want, game recaps, it's all there. And shout out to Ticket IQ. We have a bunch of promo codes with them, so you can save money on Yankee tickets. That's all on Instagram or Twitter, so check that out because I don't remember all three codes. But definitely look there for cheap and reliable tickets. Ticket IQ app or the website ticketiq.com. So.
Indeed, go check out Ticket IQ and Yanks Universe. Absolutely. Nate and I are both going to Yankees games this week, at least one, but we're not going to the same game just yet. We're trying to see if maybe we could go on Tuesday or on Thursday. Nate, so you already have tickets for Tuesday, and I have for Wednesday already, and then regardless, we leave on Friday. So we're trying to see if we could go to one together. Unclear if we can yet. So today was, I think, the first maybe last night. I couldn't watch all of last night. Obviously, I tuned in after they had taken the lead, so it kind of wore off on me. But today seemed like the first really satisfying win the Yankees have had in a while, because the Mets won. I was there for the first game of that doubleheader against the Mets with everyone homered, and they won 12-5, and it was great. And then they got blown out that night, but whatever. That was nice, but it was kind of like we were still kind of in a little bit of shock from losing 2 of 3 to Toronto and then to Cleveland. So I don't think that was really that satisfying, but now it feels like, all right, we're in a good place. We're kind of starting to get past that. Do you think that this cold streak is over now that we're going into facing these good teams, or are you still a little concerned about where we're at?
Well, it's about time that the team got cold because, it's a bunch of, bench players or players who are just kind of arising from nothing really. So it was about time to get cold, but I think now we have Stanton coming back Tuesday. It looks like Paxton looked much better than usual today. So I think they're heading in the right direction. I think they'll take 2 out of 3, or is it 4 games against Tampa Bay?
Yeah.
It's 4 games. Or 3.
No, it's just 3.
Just 3. So I think they'll go 2 out of 3 in Tampa Bay. I think they're fine. And Chicago isn't a bad team anymore. They're 500 baseball this year, so you can't really fool around with them. But it can happen in a long year. I think it's over though. I think they'll be okay with Stanton coming back. Paxton looks better. Judge looks like he's kind of getting there, or is getting there actually, I should say. And Didi's back, so I think they'll be good.
Yeah, Paxton gave you 6 innings and 2 runs today. Can't complain about that, especially with his last few starts since coming off the IL were not fantastic. He was good against San Diego in his first start back, but they pulled him after like 60-something pitches. I think our live stream is down on YouTube. I'm assuming Doug's figuring that out. Whatever.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, he and then his last start, which was against, I think his last start was against Cleveland, right?
Paxton was against the Mets.
You're right. He did
Big
play
pitch
against the Mets, and he got roughed up there because I forgot this was a 4-game set
Right.
against Chicago. Yeah, and that was a really bad start, but he did look better today, for sure. I hate when everyone on Twitter, I saw all these takes that were saying like, oh, Cashman, screwed up with this one. Like, why did we bother getting this guy? First off, Justice Sheffield just got demoted to Double-A, and he has like an ERA in like the 6s, and I think he has like an incredibly high amount of walks. So I don't know. We'll get into it more later, but it seems like every time that we do a trade with Seattle, Cashman kind of whatever prospects they get don't really pan out. And we'll get into the Encarnacion trade in a bit. I don't know if I'm ready to call this slide that they've been on over, because we'll see if they're able to beat these, they're playing arguably the 2 best teams in the AL next. So if they can really play really well against those teams, then I'll be sold. But I also don't think it's panic time if they can't beat them.
For sure.
Yeah. So Encarnacion, we got him.
He's a Yankee. I know, it's weird, right?
Came really out of nowhere. I checked my phone as soon as Shabbat ended last night, and Jeff Passan had tweeted he's got Encarnacion. And the only report that I saw was it's for Juan Then. And I was like, oh, I'm sure it's, that's a piece of the deal, and there's got to be more to it. And then the report came out, it's just Juan Then. And I was like, oh,
great.
Sure. That works. At first, I was kind of like, I really don't see why we need this. Another righty doesn't really make sense, but he actually has better stats against righties than against lefties as a hitter. He's better than Voit defensively, even though it seems like Voit is still going to be the primary first baseman. And it's just like, why not? Like, there's no reason you wouldn't do this trade. You really didn't give up much. If anything, it helps with people were saying, oh, we're definitely not getting starting pitching now. Juan Then wasn't going to help you get any big-name pitchers. And if anything, it makes Frazier more expendable. It makes Estrada more expendable.
Everyone, really.
Andujar, maybe, but I don't think they're going to trade him when his value is this low because he's hurt. But it makes all these pieces more expendable, and suddenly, it hurts a little less to give up Frazier in a trade.
Yeah.
So, we can get into this a little more. Well, actually, you know what? Let's just get into it now. Do you think Clint Frazier is a Yankee on August 1st?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either. It's tough. I think he's definitely not on the big league roster. I think there's like 20% chance he's in AAA. I think there's like a 60% chance he's on another team or in another organization. Yeah. I think he just has way too much value to stash in AAA at this point. And the Yankees, like where is he going to play? You can't stash him on the bench.
Nowhere.
Getting every day at bats. The outfield is full. Stanton's not going to DH now, it seems, because Encarnacion's going to be the DH. So Stanton, Hicks, Judge is your outfield. Oh, Clint Frazier was just optioned to AAA.
Look at that.
Wow.
Well, this could be some breaking news soon.
Very surprising.
Which means he must be.
Yes, we're talking about that.
That's pretty weird, actually.
That is.
Which means Cashman must have something in mind of a trade. Because, he's playing good baseball for the Yankees right now. He's not slumping. He must be thinking of trading.
Well, when you think about it, like, regardless, Tauchman is going to go down after tomorrow's game. I'm almost 100% sure that's going to be the corresponding move for Stanton getting activated. So I guess it's not really that huge of a deal because that could have been Frazier regardless. Maben staying on the team, I guess he'll go when Judge comes back. I would imagine. I think because you can option Maben, you have to DFA. That's so funny that news came through right as we're talking about it. But yeah, I could see Clint Frazier making it back up to the Yankees at some point this season before getting traded, but I think he almost has more trade value if you keep him in AAA because he gets every day at bats.
Right.
But yeah, I mean the outfield is full now. There's no DH spot. His defense is still a question. Tauchman's gonna want to get some playing time, but I think we agreed he was gonna go down.
For sure.
Maben is gonna be gone
DFA'd.
soon enough, which is tough. And I mean, I guess Gardner becomes your fourth outfielder, but he's still gonna play a lot. Yeah, wow, that really took me by surprise.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, like
yeah.
How much playing time do you think Gardner gets after the Encarnacion trade? How much do you think this dips into his playing time?
Well, Stanton and Judge aren't going to be just playing outfield every day after the injuries. So Gardner may have some playing time once they get back, but as they get healthy and if they, towards the middle/later of the year, Gardner's going to be a bench player, still rotating in and out of the lineup, but, Stanton and Judge is two bats you can't have out of the lineup.
Yeah.
And Gardner, he's Gardner, whatever. Has some big home runs once in a while, but I think he will come in maybe for Stanton if they're up like 5-3 in the eighth to play left field. Just because Stanton isn't the best left fielder in the world, and Gardner is obviously a very reliable left fielder. So I think Gardner will be kind of a fourth outfielder / defensive replacement for Stanton or whoever it might be.
Yeah, Stanton's actually the analytics show. I saw this on Twitter today that he's actually a very not a fantastic, but he's definitely above average left fielder. He doesn't hurt the team by any means out there. But obviously for Gardner's better. He's one of the best fielding outfielders in the league. I agree with you. I think he'll still start 2-3 times a week, even when everyone's healthy again. But yeah, I think it definitely takes a cut into his playing time for sure. The other guy who it seems like his playing time might get a little bit of a hit, but I don't think as much as Gardner is Gio Urshela. I don't want to call him the worst infielder that's on the roster right now because I don't think that's really fair to him.
No.
But he's still going to get a fair amount of playing time, but it seems like if the playoffs were today, I think you would roll out a lineup of Gary behind the plate, obviously, DJ at third, Didi short, Glaber second, Voit first, Encarnacion DH, or flip first base and DH, whatever. And then Stanton in left, Hicks in center, Judge in right. And then your bench is Urshela, Gardner, Romine. But just because Urshela and Gardner aren't starting in a one-game playoff or in a playoff game, that doesn't mean they're not going to get days. And Didi's going to need some days off because he's still getting back from an injury, which we'll get into that more later. DJ's going to need days off. All these guys, sometimes it'll be half day off, sometimes DH, sometimes they'll need a full day off. Urshela's still going to get his fair share of days in there. I think he'll still start 4 or 5 times a week. What do you think?
Yeah, and most infielders who have a great glove, or even fielders, don't really show the bat. But he's a two-way player here. He can field, he can hit. So he'll make his way in the lineup. Probably 3 to 5 times a week, if everyone's healthy. So and also injuries. Who knows who goes down next? Yeah. And he was once again an everyday starter. So
yeah, it would really suck if we trade and then Hicks goes down with an injury and misses 6 weeks, and suddenly you have Maben starting every day in center field. And don't get me wrong, I like Maben, but no, and that you had Clint in your organization a week ago. I don't want to speak this into existence. I'm not even going to talk anymore, but that would be really upsetting. So we're kind of getting towards that stage now where we're near the trade. How many straight years has it been now where everybody's been saying the Yankees need pitching at the deadline?
In a lot of years.
I guess it's the third straight year now because in 2016 we kind of tore everything down at the deadline. But 2017 we got Gray. Last year we got J Happ, and this might be recency bias, but I think this year is the loudest demand for pitching. The most. like everybody has, Stroman or bust, Scherzer or bust, Bumgarner, Minor, Tanner Roark. I've seen Mike. I think I said Minor. Everyone has their guy that every time someone has a bad start, it's Paxton gave up 1 run in the first inning. And again, remind me again why Cashman hasn't traded the whole farm for Scherzer already.
Right.
Yeah. I think, are we in agreement that if anything, the Encarnacion deal just furthers that they're going to make a deal for starting pitching instead of arguing that they won't?
I mean, yeah, because if they don't, then they're just wasting talent that could be either traded or playing. But so yeah, I mean, they kind of have to trade Frazier or some top talent because there's no room for them. I mean, it'd be tough to see Frazier on the bench when he can be on a team starting and he can get back Scherzer or let's say Minor or whoever you want. So I feel like it has to mean a trade's coming, and if it doesn't, it's gonna happen. There is no it doesn't happen.
Yeah,
I think.
I just saw a tweet that's interesting that I think it seems like a small storyline that the media is going to blow up no matter what happens, but I think it is going to be interesting to see what Frazier's comments are on him being sent down.
Mm-hmm.
We've already seen him have his debacles with the press, and his relationship with the Yankees maybe isn't where both sides want it to be. Doesn't mean he's, the team can't stand him and he can't stand the team. I think he likes being a Yankee, but I think the way that he handles the press and his response to getting sent down could show a lot about like how much he really does want out of here.
Yeah, that's possible. And I'm sure Cashman and whoever is talking to him and saying that like you're kind of on the block here and you could be dealt. I'm sure they had some talk. So and Frazier, like he's not gonna. He's a great player. I love Frazier. I think he should be starting right in whatever. I think he should be playing, but he's not like a New York kind of guy. I feel like Aaron Judge, loyal, humble, just knows what to say in big moments. But Frazier, I feel like I don't get that vibe with him. I feel like he's gonna say something obscure or just not appropriate.
Yeah, I mean, two things. One, I don't think it's really fair to compare any Yankees player to Judge. Judge
Right.
is like this
The king.
role model, fantastic. No one ever has anything bad to say about him. So I think we're comparing every Yankees player's reaction to the media and fans and whatever to Judge. That's a little unfair. But also in Frazier's defense, like that, I wouldn't say the storyline stopped of the whole, Frazier hates the media and sucks at defense. That storyline is definitely still out there. But him hitting 600 in like the week after or whatever it was definitely made that storyline die. If he was hitting 230 in the week afterwards, I think we would still be hearing about that a ton now. Yeah. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens with him now. Do you think there's really no way to tell this, but do you think they're going to make do you think it's going to be like in the few days leading up to the deadline that they make a trade, or do you think like by like July 5th we could see Frazier gone? Not necessarily Frazier, just do you think we could see a trade having been made?
So since he's got option down at AAA, I think it could happen pretty soon.
Yeah.
Because why would they send him down for no reason? So that's possible, and like I don't see why they wouldn't make a trade now. With CC hurt, Severino hurt, they kind of need a starter.
Question mark.
Perhaps still, who knows? And Tanaka has had some shaky starts, but he's been fine. And Herman's hurt, right? So
yeah.
So they kind of do need a starter now or like very soon.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I
just had an RBI single in AAA.
Yes, great,
fantastic. We're ready.
Great.
Awesome.
But yeah, I think he could be dealt in the next like couple weeks or week even.
We always love to read into all these storylines. Huge example, obviously, Machado this offseason, which, by the way, if you're listening to our podcast and you don't listen to R2C2, which is CC's podcast with Ryan Rucco, you got to get on that. It is one of my favorite podcasts to listen to. They had Machado on this week's episode, which I actually listened to on the train ride coming back to the city from your house in Stamford on Friday morning. And it was just so funny to listen to Machado saying about how, like, he hears all these rumors and, like, obviously his agent and everyone tells him, like, obviously don't tweet about it, don't do anything. But, like, he sees all these rumors, like how everybody thought him following Yes Network on Instagram meant, like, oh, he's absolutely coming to the Yankees. And he's like, why am I not allowed to just, like, want to see, like, how these guys, like how the Yankees are doing. Like, I play in a division with them. I'm friends with guys on the team. Like, why does me following them automatically mean that this is happening? And just this idea of how fans always read so much into everything. But so basically the point I'm getting at is Cashman, we always love to read into these rumors of, oh, the Yankees are on the phone with this team or they had scouts at this pitcher's start. But, like, did anybody at all report Encarnacion to the Yankees at all before it came out? It was a huge shock. So Cashman always operates under what's it called? Like, very stealthily under the radar. The Stanton trade is one everyone loves to point to, that, like, he's going to the Cardinals and he vetoed that, and then he's going to the Giants and he vetoed that, and then he gave 4 teams that he wants to go to, and he's 90% going to the Dodgers and maybe to the Cubs, and then a slight chance, and then that night the Yankees trade for him.
Yeah.
Like, he makes these deals happen so fast. Like, I mean, everyone thought we were getting Cole Hamels last year, and then Hap's name was thrown around in all fairness, but I think Hamels was the guy people wanted last year. He does, like, you never hear anything about these trades until they actually happen, so I don't think you can really read into a ton of these rumors
for sure.
as they're happening right now. Okay, so Stanton and Judge, those guys are back.
Coming back.
That is so exciting. I saw a tweet on Twitter that the idiocy of Yankees fans, I always say idiocity, which is really funny because, like, that's not the right way to say it, and, like, I'm criticizing idiots while also just, like, not saying the correct word, which is just funny. But the idiocy of so many Yankees fans makes me. I saw a tweet that John Boy quote tweeted today that someone said, like, oh, can't wait for all this, like, runners in scoring position to go away, like, hitting go away when, like, we get the softball hitters back. It's like, can you imagine being like upset when Giancarlo Stanton comes back to the lineup? Like, no, give me Brett Gardner every single day.
Yeah.
I love Brett Gardner. I'm very glad that he's been playing well of late.
Great.
Anybody who is upset about Stanton coming back, I mean, I don't think anyone's upset about Judge coming back. If you are and you're listening to this podcast, please don't listen to my Saturday morning, block us on Twitter because we don't interact with you. But I think there are a fair amount of people who are actually unhappy with Stanton coming back, which is wild. Yeah, I'm really ready for him to have a 3-homer game in the World Series this year and just shut people up about that.
Yeah. I mean, Stanton's a former NL MVP, and how can you not be happy with that? It's like not wanting like the best player, like one of the best players in the league on your team. Yeah, I don't get how you think that, but I mean, Stanton's back. Judge is a little farther off than Stanton. That makes Stanton's back Tuesday. They're going to reactivate him from the IL, right? Tuesday?
Tuesday for Stanton, which is
Judge,
very exciting.
Judge is sometime the homestand, Boone said.
This Red Sox game is wild. I just saw a tweet from Jared Carrabis where he said this game so it was 3-2. Well, so the Red Sox tied it up in the 9th to make it 3-3. Then they scored 5 runs in the 10th to make it 8-3. And now the Orioles have scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 10th to make it 8-6.
Oh, my God. This bullpen is so bad.
So there was a game a couple weeks ago. I think it was Giants-Orioles. And the score was 6-5 at the end of the first inning. And
I was like, this is the
craziest thing.
I did see that, yeah. It's like a home derby.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I'm definitely excited to have Stanton and Judge back. I think we all had fun with this. Oh, the Yankees are all hurting. They're the rail riders now when they're this scrappy, well executing, hitting in good situations, whatever team. Like, we all had fun with that storyline. And once Judge and Stanton get back, Sevy's still going to be hurt. Betances is still going to be hurt. Montgomery, if you want to count him.
Bond, maybe.
Bond, yeah. We're still going to have guys that are going to be hurt. But, we got Judge back. We got Stanton back. We got Didi. We got Gary. We got Andujar, but whatever. He's done. We got who else was on the IL at some point? Paxton was on the IL at a point. Like we got guys back, so
Yeah, for sure.
I think that storyline is over. Not necessarily over because we obviously still aren't going to have had Severino back, but it's going to have died down significantly within the week. The Red Sox beat the Orioles 8-6. Cool. Yeah. Do you have anything else on Stanton and Judge? I feel like I did a lot of talking there.
No, it's all true though. I agree. It's gonna be good to have him back. Obviously, 2 power bats in the lineup. Judge, Stanton. You know, I mean, it's like the best 2 players on the team, hitters on the team, arguably. So, I mean,
I would say Gary, but
Gary,
I would say Gary over Stanton.
a top hitter.
Sure, they're good baseball players.
They are good at baseball, so I like watching them play, and they help the Yankees out. So, I'm all for it. Obviously, good to have him back. It seems like the Yankees are getting healthier. Obviously, still obviously Severino's hurt, Betances their top 2 ace and bullpen guy, but hopefully Betances got hurt again. He hurt his lat,
Yeah,
so he's done.
he is. He and Severino are still super far off in my mind.
Kind of sucks.
I'm taking Severino back All-Star break to late July, and Betances is back in mid-August. That's kind of where my mind is at with them. When they come back, great. Until then, I'm not relying on them.
Yeah,
That's where I'm at with them.
It's back here.
Yeah. So Didi, he's back. We actually haven't recorded an episode since he came back. The last time we recorded was after the Blue Jays series. Last time we recorded was the morning of his debut.
Yes.
The team, right?
Yes.
So yeah, he's been tearing the cover off the ball since he came back. His defense has looked a little shaky, not fantastic, but you know, kind of his timing's going to be off. We knew he wasn't going to come back and be 100%, and I mean, he's basically been 100% with the bat, which is great. The power's not fully there yet, but I mean, small sample size.
Yeah.
He could have been better with the glove so far, but he's still been above average, so I don't think you can complain.
Can't complain, yeah. I was scared. His first at bat when he hit that single to right and he slid into second base. I'm like, if this man like tears his arm off again, I'm gonna be so mad because I'm like, first at bat he's sliding to second base. I'm like, Didi, chill over here, chill over here. Then he hit home run the next game. So and that home run, remember in the ALDS against Corey Kluber Game 5, that was like deja vu for me.
I have a signed picture of it right up on my wall that I'm looking at right now. Yep.
There. So that was like, wow, deja vu. But he looks great. I mean, he hit that one error against the Indians in that crazy game that they almost blew, but they won in the end. Everyone was kind of bashing on him, but whatever. You know, they won the game in the end. That's all that matters.
That game was over. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
All right. Obviously, we'll like to see him make the play, but I mean, you expect him to be a little rusty, a little, you know, offbeat for a couple of weeks even. So I'm not worried about Didi.
Yeah, I wasn't able to watch that game because it was over Shavuot, Jewish holiday. But when I came back and watched it after after the holiday ended, I watched like a recap of all the games that I missed, and I was like, man, that has to be the worst feeling, getting put in as a defensive replacement after like he apparently asked Boone to start that game, and then just doing like the absolute worst possible thing you can do. That has to be so brutal. Another thing that we haven't really touched on is for all this talk of, we need starting pitching, you know, Herman is hurt, Tanaka's inconsistent, Paxton is inconsistent, Happ is Happ. CC can't get through 5 innings. Chad Green and Nestor Cortez combined is like one of the best pitchers in the major league.
Like, wow. Yeah.
Crazy. When I turned on the game yesterday and Nestor Cortez was still pitching, I was like, how long is this? Must have left for 3 innings, and Nestor just came in. I was like, Nestor's going for a while. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's like 5-0 when using the opener this year or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, that's
pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's surprising, but also not, I guess, because they have good arms. But
which, I mean, that stat is kind of misleading because I remember like there was one game where Chad really not. He pitched fine, but I think he gave up 2 homers. Like the analytics showed like the expected batting average on one of them was 0.60, but it got out anyways. Yeah, it was against Tampa Bay. So like the causation was bad, but like he performed well regardless. But like so, like the point I'm getting at is that stat doesn't necessarily reflect how good that pitcher was. But like I mean, it's worth noting like the fact that the team has played that well when they've started.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I think they're gonna continue with the opener until they get a 5-man rotation, like a legit one. I'm okay with it. It's worked so far, so I mean, not much to complain about there. And Cortez, he's surprised. You know, like he wasn't a big name thrown around ever really, and I never heard of his name really at all really the last couple of years. But maybe I'm just stupid. But you know, he's looked very good as kind of that long reliever kind of guy. Starting pitcher kind of comes in second inning. And Chad Green, too, has been really good.
I wonder if there's any chance that with this Frazier news, it's still kind of on my mind. And the bullpen. I don't think they want to have 5 outfield, but I could see it happening. Like I think there's a world where it happens, but I don't think it's likely. I think it would be Hale that goes down more likely than Cortez, just because A, you want to have another lefty, and B, Cortez has been so great as an opener. Would you be comfortable using Green and Cortez as an opener in September if in some worlds we don't get more pitching help? Like, I don't think it's ideal. I don't think you can really complain about that at this point with the way they've been playing, especially if they are able to sustain this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, what do you want out of a starting pitcher, right? You want, like, 6 innings and 2 or 3 runs, ideally. And I think Cortez and Chad can give that to you.
Yeah, I mean, Chad Green's looked very good in his first inning or first 2 innings of work. So, I mean, he's, you know, looked much better from before. And Cortez comes right in and just throws strikes, gets outs. He's not necessarily the most overpowering pitcher ever, but he gets the job done. So, I think like September, if it's like a close race, I think I want to see a pitcher in there, like a starter. But if it's like, you know, kind of open, well, it also depends how they do in the next couple months.
Right.
If they struggle, then no. But if they're doing like this, sure, go 20-0. I'm okay with that. So, you know, I'm not complaining they're winning every game. So.
Yeah. No, definitely, I agree. I think it's not something you want to bank on. I don't think you're excited about them going out there, but I don't think it's something you can complain about. Like, I wouldn't want to see Cortez pitching 5 innings in a playoff game unless he somehow sustains this and is the next Chad Green. But I mean, at this point, I don't think you're comfortable with that. But I can envision a world where that happens, and I'm not where he's pitching in a playoff game and I'm not mad about it. I can envision a world in which he's pitching big innings in a September game against the Red Sox or Rays, and I'm like, all right.
Nestor.
Whatever they did with Green in AAA, whoever did that needs a raise. He was
get him up here.
So terrible. Or maybe, in all fairness, maybe that was him figuring it out instead of, you know, him kind of getting some mentoring from someone. But whatever happened to him down there, he is back. He has officially figured it out.
Yeah, I mean, he looks dominant. Like, fastball is on point, high velocity, location.
He was hitting 98 yesterday.
I'm like, whoa. Yeah, I'm like, is this Chapman? Is like, you know, is this Severino up here? So, I mean, but yeah, he looks great. His slider was also nasty. Swings and misses. If he can keep this up, you know, especially with Betances down, that would be a huge help for the Yankees. Because if he's being consistent and throwing strikes, doing his usual thing, I'll be a lot more confident in the Yankees bullpen. I'm still confident without him, but obviously be a lot more confident with him in.
He's a really nice piece to have there. What's your level of confidence in Paxton at right now? Because we saw his first start against. Let me pull up his game log because I'm trying to remember all the starts he's had.
Right. Since against Toronto once and the Mets once.
Yeah, I know he had the Mets. Today, obviously, he had his first start back was against the Padres. Let's see, James Paxton game logs. Shout out Baseball Reference. Always a fantastic resource. Doesn't have his game log for today updated yet. Since he's come back from the IL, He went 4 scoreless innings in his first start against San Diego, where we knew they were keeping him on the pitch count or whatever.
Mhm.
Then his 2 starts after that were, well, his first start after that was against Toronto in that game that the bullpen blew it and they lost 11-7. He gave up 4 runs, 3 earned in 4 2/3 innings, which it's not good. It's not horrendous. If he gives that to you, you're kind of like, all right, fine.
Let's move on.
It's not traded, but it's not someone you're pulling immediately. And then his last start against the Mets was obviously horrific. He gave up 6 earned runs in less than 3 innings.
Yeah.
But then today he gave up 2 earned runs in 6 innings. And ironically, I think you can make an argument that like the White Sox are better than the 2 teams that he had those bad outings against, the Blue Jays and Mets. I think you can make an argument that the White Sox are the best of those 3 teams, and that's the team he pitched the best against.
Yeah, they're a good team. Yeah.
Are you confident in him when he takes the mound right now, or is he still a little shaky to you?
Well, it's kind of, I'm not upset. But I was kind of like, curious of the injury. Maybe he got back too soon with his knee. But today he looked very good. 6 innings, 2 earned runs. So that's obviously very ideal. So after this start, I'm much more confident than I was before today, for obvious reasons. But I think it could have either been he's rusty after coming off the IL, or his knee was bothering him for a little bit after, like for his first 2-3 starts. Maybe his knee was still hurting or some discomfort. But I think maybe now it just went away after time. I could be totally wrong there. I have no idea. He says it's not a problem, but I don't buy it. I don't know. I feel like he was still kind of hurt after that injury. Not hurt, but just not 100%. So, but now I am back on board with him. I think he faces Houston next start.
Oh, yeah, because it's not going to be against the Rays, so it'll probably be in that Houston series unless he gets pushed back or something.
Right, so obviously a very big.
It'll be a huge start for him, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of going to be his, not make or break it, honestly, but his, a true test for him.
Yeah, I agree. If she has a bad start against Houston, I don't think you can use that and say, oh, clearly he's not back from the injury, because the Astros are a good team. Even with they have a number of guys hurt right now, even with that, they're one of the best teams in the league, if not the best, and I don't think you can knock him for a bad start. And I'm pretty sure he pitched in that first series when we faced them earlier this year, and I think he was decent, but not great, if I remember correctly. I just remember the bullpen was really bad in that series.
Yeah, they did blow a lot of games.
Yeah. I'm confident in him when he takes them out at this point. I never really, lost confidence in him, per se. When he was, starting against the Mets, that start against the Blue Jays was completely in the rearview mirror. Today, I was kind of like, all right, this is a big start for him. He's had 2 bad starts in a row. If he had a bad start today, I would have been kind of concerned. But I'm at a point where I'm not too concerned about him. I just saw on Twitter from Lindsay Adler, Clint says he was surprised he was optioned, calls it a tough pill to swallow. Very fair of him to say. Yeah. I think we were all surprised he was optioned. If anybody twists this into saying that, oh, Clint is coming out and speaking against Yankees management, which I'm sure someone's going to say that's a horrendous take, and that's just trying to paint him in a bad light.
Yeah, that's not nice, yeah.
Yeah. I feel bad for him. He's done basically everything he can. I think he's got a big personality, and they clearly wanted to tone it down a little bit, but I think he's been doing his best in his play on the field, at least with the bat. Has shown that he really wants to get it. What's it called? He really wants to stay with the team, and he really wants to get He really wants to get his problems fixed. Yeah, no, I feel for the guy.
Yeah, he's a good player,
Yeah, he's a great player.
So
I feel like you just can't, unless there's a bunch of injuries, which with this team you never know. I feel like it's going to be until 2021. Maybe next year he could. Because Gardner's gone after this year, I think. And then next year, Hicks and Judge obviously are going to be center and right. And Encarnacion is still probably going to be the DH because he's signed through next year. You can't stash him in your AAA until 2021. You got to get value out of him. Yeah. His value is so much more to another team. And if Clint's on the Giants or the Blue Jays and Like they don't even. He's like one of the top 3 untouchables in their organization.
Right.
um,
Yankees like a bench player now, or even AAA player now.
Yankees, they
so.
literally just option him to AAA.
Yeah.
That never even crosses your mind with the Blue Jays or Giants unless it's for service time or whatever. But yeah, I just think he has a lot more value to another team. And I respect them for not. How many times have we heard Clint's name in trade rumors over the years? We heard it in the Garrett Cole rumor. Then this offseason, it was, he's going to Cincinnati with Sonny Gray and we're getting Scooter Gennett. Or it was he's going back to Cleveland and we're getting Kluber. It was, yeah. He's been out there all the time and Cashman is stuck with him. And you sell high on these guys. That's what you do with these expendable guys. Yeah. And that's why I don't think they're trading Andujar anytime soon.
Yeah. Andujar is hurt now, so his value is an all-time low. Especially coming off that, I'm not just talking, I'm sorry.
I gotcha.
Especially after this bad start to the season. So I think Andujar is going to stay just because his value is so low. But otherwise, I think he'll be gone too. But I could see teams wanting Andujar because of his success last year. So that is possible he gets in there.
We already said that we don't really know how real these rumors are because, obviously the Encarnacion trade came out of nowhere and, you can never trust anything. But there were these rumors that the Yankees really wanted Kluber or Syndergaard this past offseason and that Andujar was kind of the deal breaker. And when he came up, it was a no. So I think if they didn't want to trade him then, there's no way they're trading him now. If indeed those rumors were true, they didn't want to trade him, then I don't think he's getting traded now.
That's true, yeah.
With his value that much lower. But crazier things have happened. We'll see. I also just saw on Twitter, Frazier said he was pretty surprised at being demoted. Boone told him this is the reality of things. Guess I'm facing reality right now. That's kind of, yeah. For Boone to say to him, like, hey, this is kind of how it is, instead of, like Boone said apparently also that like he still expects him to be a big factor for the team, which that could very well just be in a trade.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. That seems a little. I don't know. It seems like a little. It doesn't seem very Boone-esque to be like, yep, that's how things are.
Yeah, Boone's like so nice. Like he's so innocent.
That doesn't seem like the kind of thing he says.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me see. I'm gonna see if there are any more Clint quotes on Twitter because I'm actually really interested to see.
What do you have to say?
He responded to this. This is the reality of things. Guess I'm facing reality right now. It's a tough pill to swallow. It's never fun, especially with how much I felt like, well, someone mistyped. I felt like I contributed to this team. Yeah, he's right. He has contributed a lot.
He's not wrong.
It's just so deep that he somehow hasn't contributed enough. Like, he's overperformed his expectations this year. Somehow, he's still the 4th outfielder on our depth chart. It just doesn't make sense that then we kept the 5th and 6th outfielders on our depth chart instead of him. But
right, that's true.
Yeah, all right. I feel for him, but Cashman is a plan for everything, and at the end of the day, I trust Brian Cashman. Yeah.
Yeah, Cashman's good GM, obviously. So I trust him. And Cashman we trust.
Yeah. All right. You got anything else, Nate?
I think that's all. This is probably last episode in America.
So, we don't know yet how recording is going to work when we're in Israel. We're trying to figure out the logistics of that because unfortunately we're not allowed to bring our laptops. Obviously we'll be in the same place, so that makes it much easier, but we're trying to figure out with, the editing and the uploading and all that, how it works.
Make sure to follow Instagram and Twitter for all the updates and whatever news. At Gate 6 Podcast on Instagram and Twitter.
Okay, yeah. My friend Sammy Wurzberger just texted me in all caps, answer my Instagram question because he asked for people to ask questions. Right. His answer was something like, if you had to live with a Yankee for a month, who would you pick? I would pick CC Sabathia.
I was going to say the same thing.
It's the coolest life ever. I'll let you take him. I will go with Didi Gregorius because I love that man.
Nice deal. I'll take that.
You're welcome,
We roommates, so some of you share CC and Didi. We roommates, so
yeah.
Goodbye.
That's true. Okay, great. Thank you guys for listening. Masahiro Tanaka jersey card giveaway still on Twitter. Waiting you guys can get us 243 followers majestically in the next 4 days. I'll have that shipped out before we get to Israel. If not, it'll have to wait. Ticket IQ, Yanks Universe, check them out. Ticket IQ codes are on Instagram and on Twitter.
And the comments.
And in
on
the
YouTube.
comments of the YouTube video. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Thank you.
By the time you hear from us next, we will be in Israel. Maybe Clint Frazier won't be a Yankee anymore.
Who knows?
Giancarlo Stanton and Edwin Encarnacion will have hopefully played unless Stanton gets hit by another pitch and pulls another muscle, has another setback. Thank you guys so much for listening. Really appreciate it. Great. Peace out.
Peace.
Okay.